I'm Peter Sidwell. I'm one of the judges on Britain's Best Bakery on ITV. I'm going to show you one of my absolute favourite cakes. Combination of two of my favourite ingredients, lemon and passion fruit. Done as a drizzle cake, so it's dredged in a lovely, fragrant, sharp syrup that really elevates this cake. And I tell you, you will be able to make this. It is dead easy. Okay, so get our mixer, get the bowls straight onto the scales, and I need 330 grams of sugar. So straight in, I've got golden caster sugar here. Gives a bit more flavour than a usual white sugar. Okay, and then I have got 225 grams of butter. It's softened butter, so it'll incorporate really nicely. I'm just going to chop it up. Then when you're mixing it, you don't have one piece of butter working around the bowl. You're giving it a fighting chance straight away. Okay, then I've got some yogurt. This is where it gets a little bit different. 220 grams of thick Greek yogurt. Straight in. This will help it keep nice and rich and moist, and it'll give it real keeping value, so you can have this in the kitchen all week. Okay, 4 eggs straight in. There we go. Right, and then the zest of 2 lemons. Keep the juice for the syrup and the zest in the cake. Right, there's one more ingredient to add in, which is the flour. But first I want to mix all these ingredients together until I've got one sort of cream together texture. And then we'll finally add in the flour, just fold it in gently. If you scrunch it up and then you just pop it back in, it just folds inside the tin really easily. Kind of makes it a bit more pliable and movable. So all we're trying to do with the mixer here is incorporate the butter in with the eggs, the yogurt and the sugar, so we get one smooth texture. And then we'll finally add in the flour and we'll just fold it in at the end. Okay, so we'll mix this together. Let's just lift this out. And then I'm just going to add in the flour. This is self-raising flour. Just pop it straight in and we're just going to give it a quick mix. Just want to really slowly just bring the flour into the batter mix. You don't want to work the flour too much because you don't want the gluten. You want to just fold it in. So we're just going to give it a quick blast and that'll be it. Okay, we're done. So use the paddle and work it round the bowl, just to make sure that everything is incorporated in there. Okay. So we're just going to pour this straight in. The whole lot. This recipe works really well in a loaf tin as well. So you could make it in a, a 2-pound loaf tin, cut slices off. I'm doing it in this enamel bakeware tray today because I want a big surface area, because I'm going to cover it in a lovely passion fruit and lemon syrup, which we're going to make while the cake bakes. Okay, so just give it a little tap and it'll kind of level out and it'll find all the little nooks and crannies. And then just pop that in the oven, 170, for about 25 minutes. So the cake's cooking in the oven. We're going to make the syrup. So I've got some golden caster sugar here. Just going to cover the bottom of the pan. That should be plenty. And then we've got our lemons. So slice straight through and squeeze the juice straight in. Any pips, just lift them out. What we're trying to make is a syrup, not a caramel. So you don't want the pan smoking hot. You just want to start to caramelize it and make sure that the sugars dissolve rather than turn to a caramel, okay? So nice low heat. and we're just going to bring it up to the boil. So we've got the lemon in there, and then passion fruit, for me, a wonderful fragrance. If you look at these seeds here, get the whole thing in and just scoop it straight in. Yeah, it just smells so fragrant, so tropical. There's nothing else replaces this. You can't mock it with anything else. Passion fruit has this wonderful floral, citrusy, tropical flavour to it, and I think it works beautifully with the lemon. And just scoop them straight out. The trick to buying passion fruits is buy the wrinkliest, knackered old passion fruits you can find, because they're the ones that are ripest and they've got the most amount of flavour. The really shiny ones that look almost like, you know, a brown golf ball, they won't have much flavour in. The wrinkly old ones are the ones packed full of flavour. So we'll just turn this up now and bring it up to the boil. And once it's boiled for about 30 seconds, we're then going to leave it. And that's it. So what we're going to have is a lovely, sweet, fresh, fragrant syrup. And that's what we want. Give this a bit of a stir. Just bring all that flavour together. This is always worth making more than you need, because this will sit in the fridge for weeks and you'll be able to just spoon a little bit on some ice cream, beautiful. Fruit salad, amazing. Stir it into a bit of plain Greek yogurt and it just gives it such a wonderful flavour. So that's it, it's come up to the boil. I'm going to leave it. I'm not making a caramel, this is a syrup, okay? That's it. So our cake's going to be done. Let's lift this out. Right, okay, so while it's still warm, get a fork and just press lots of holes in the top, okay? So this will allow all the syrup to seep through into the cake, and it'll help it keep, but it'll help make it really beautiful and moist. What I'm trying to make, you know, think grandma's lemon drizzle cake, but we're elevating the flavours. We're trying to be modern and contemporary and develop new flavours, but with old concepts. So lemon drizzle cake is nothing new, but lemon and drizzle cake with passion fruit, it just starts to really get exciting then. So make sure you go right the way around the edges, because that, by sheer nature of the cake baking, will be the kind of the driest part. So lots of holes in the top, loads and loads and loads. That's it. Now, while the syrup is nice and warm and runny, just spoon it over the cake. Yeah? And you'll see it seep into all the holes. Okay? Seeds will give lovely texture to this, so don't worry about them. But if you don't want them in there, sieve them out if you like. But for me, they just give a nice crisp, crunchy texture, and they let you know it's passion fruit then. Okay. Give it a few minutes. Let it soak into all those little tiny holes that you've put in the top. Let that syrup drain in, and then add another load more, and that'll just give more and more flavour. And this will taste like no other cake you have had before, I promise you. It works so well, and it will keep in your cake tin for up to a week, no problem. I bet it won't, but it could if you wanted it to. But you fancy a slice of this, don't you? Eh? Okay. So just carefully slide the cake out there, that to one side, and just look. Look at it glistening with all that beautiful syrup. You definitely want a slice of this. This is going to be one beautiful cake. So if I just cut this, you'll be able to see where the syrup is soaked in. This could be a pudding, no problem, served with ice cream, or it can be just a beautiful slice of cake with a cup of tea. And there we go, you can see how it's just soaked in. It's all starting to soak down through there. The yogurt's given us a really moist cake, really moist. That is like lemon drizzle cake on something, that. The passion fruit just gives it that extra dimension. I'll not go back to lemon drizzle again.